Hello once again, class. Good to be back. Sorry for my slight leave of absence, that's why I uploaded 2 videos back to back, just because I've been busy. Anywho, today we're going back to my obligations as we're going over another SCP. And today is SCP-2421, otherwise known as Don't Let the Bedbugs Bite. Object class for today is Euclid. Special containment procedures. Through controlled feeding at certain known feeding areas, the range of SCP-2421 has been limited to 250 kilometers squared area in the south of Russia. Mobile Task Force Alpha 2, otherwise known as resort staff, are responsible for maintaining these areas. Feeding areas are presented as a chain of resorts branded as Fundamental Springs. D-Class are stationed at all feeding areas for the purpose of consumption. Description: SCP-2421 is a large subterranean entity which resides a minimum of 100 meters beneath ground level. It has a roughly oval shape with a segmented shell covering most of its body, and a fleshy gap between each segment to allow for articulation. Hair-like protrusions cover the outside of the shell in an irregular pattern. SCP-2421 possesses no legs and moves in a manner similar to a caterpillar. At the presumed front of the creature are 2 claw-like mandibles which allow it to burrow through rock. It is approximately 300 meters long and possesses a 150-meter-long proboscis protruding from between its mandibles. Additionally, imaging has shown SCP-2421 to possess an intricate skeletal structure within its shell, containing a number of air-filled chambers, the purpose of which are unknown. Sample analysis of the entity reveals a non-standard genetic structure, possibly suggesting extra-dimensional origin. The creature feeds by extending its proboscis towards the surface and puncturing the bottom of a small body of water, in which the temperature is approximately 25 degrees Celsius or higher. These locations include hot springs, spas, or in one case a bath. Once the bottom of the body of water has been punctured, the sphincter at the end of the proboscis will open and any humans within the water will be pulled inside. The entity will consume approximately 5 humans over a 2-day period once per month and will expand its feeding area should humans be scarce. One minor footnote here: observed feeding as far as the current containment area as Redacted, California, prior to current measures. Feeding episodes consist with SCP-2421 were first reported in May 1840. Redacted. Attempts to replace D-Class with animals during feeding episodes have been unsuccessful, as test animals remained untouched despite the water being the correct temperature within the feeding range. So quite horrifyingly, it seems to only want to feed on humans. D-Class fed to SCP-2421 implanted with tracking devices have been observed to move in the air-filled chambers of the entity's shell in a erratic manner. In one incident, where civilians were unavoidably consumed during a feeding episode, a call was made to the Foundation-owned spa resort from the phone of a presumed dead civilian within the entity. No specific words were identified, however, background sounds of conversation, laughter, splashing, and low moans, and what has been determined to be seagulls were recorded. Fascinating. So it's possible that being consumed possibly sends you to another dimension of sorts. How horrifyingly fascinating. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you all for attending the lecture, and until next time.